Maybe. Oh, yep, there we go. Hey, nice. Marble Hornets. That's a great way to start us off. Look at that. Marble Hornets complete first season, which is exactly what we're here to do today. We're going to be watching.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll be watching season 1 with even the To the Ark stuff. We're going to have little discussions here and there. It's going to be great. Let's see. Let's do the chat stuff first. King Goomba, hey. You got a date today, so you might not be able to watch the whole stream. No worries, bud. No worries. Carnage Kills, hi. Welcome to chat. Chaos, welcome back. Always good to see you. Excellent, excellent. So, for those of you who may or may not know, even though it's on the thumbnail and indeed on the title, we're here today with my younger brother Jordan. That was your cue to say something.
That's me. I'm waiting for something to show up on the TV. But
oh, is it not updated yet? Sorry,
no.
it does happen. Like I said, there's a delay. That's the thing about live streaming. It's never perfect, but it will.
I'm Jordan. I'm Nathan's brother. I love Marble Hornets, so we wanted to be here.
Damn right. I figured we needed an expert in on the topic, and I mean, who better than the person who got me to watch it, and who also bought all the DVDs for it. You might not have even known there were DVDs you could buy for it. I mean, this whole universe is quite impressive. And to be fair, Marble Hornets is it's really kind of laid a big foundation for what analog horror is today. Wouldn't you agree, Jordan?
Yes, absolutely. It was a lot more influential than anybody saw coming. It was a fun bit of trivia for you. Like, towards the end of season 1, Roger Ebert, the famous film critic, late film critic, he watched Marble Hornets and he gave it a very shining review, saying that the entries are admirably short and that they're very chilling, very scary, and that's a very big name to give to plug something like this, especially back in, this was like 2011, 2009, 2010, which was wasn't that early internet, but it was early enough. That was a big deal, and it got them attention, and even from just people who aren't normally looking for internet horror. But I don't know, I wasn't ready to answer a question like that.
Oh, that's okay. I mean, yeah, I think you're quite right. It wasn't exactly early internet, but I would say it was well, maybe not full on early YouTube, but it was still early enough. It was certainly early enough that, you know, there weren't really videos of this kind. Like, I'd say there were still horror things and stuff, but internet horror wasn't exactly quite an established thing. Because we're talking 15 years ago. You know, like, we're talking a long, long time ago at this point. Which is 15 years ago. When you really think about it, that's like, makes me feel old. Makes us feel old, you know? Like, we remember when these were still coming out. Like, I remember you being excited because it was like a new entry coming out. And it's like, that was 15, well, maybe 10 to 15 years ago. But still, that was a long time ago now. Like, that's crazy when you think about it.
Okay, I've got the video on the screen now so I can see.
Fantastic, fantastic. Oh, let me catch up with chat. Happy Guy. Hey, welcome, my dude. Ginger, good to see you. Mum's here, obviously, supporting her favorite boys. You know, she does have a third, but he's not here because, well, he didn't really like Marble Hornets. And, yeah, you know, it's understandable. Not everybody likes horror. Right, so here's the plan. We're going to jump in. We're going to watch from the introduction probably up through entry 5, I say. Then we're going to have another little bit of a discussion. I'll naturally turn the chat box off of the screen so we don't clog up too much of what's going on. People want to be able to see the video and our reactions, even though Jordan knows this front and back by now. I remember most of it. I don't remember all of it, but that's the beauty of rewatching, right?
I do have one suggestion, which is if we're going to get to entry 5 on this little thing, for entry 5, you're going to want to monitor the audio levels because entry 5 is abnormally loud and it wasn't intentionally so.
Okay. I mean, I could just play with a little YouTube audio slider as we go, so cool. Good to know.
Okay.
Good to know. All right. Everybody comfortable? Everybody sat down? Just hit that button there. Great. Let's do it. Introduction. The following clips are raw footage excerpts from Alex Crayley, a college friend of mine. Not me, but somebody. In 2006, Alex was in the process of shooting his student film entitled Marble Hornets. Over the 3 months that this took place, his film crew complained of his increasing levels of stress and irritability. But not smell, though. Near the end of shooting, Alex halted production indefinitely and dropped the unfinished product. He told me it was due to the unworkable conditions on his set, which was less than a mile away from his house. I asked what he planned to do with the countless number of tapes he had filled. Burn them. Don't worry, I'll be with you guys in chat in just a little bit. Being a film student myself, I hated to see all of his work go to waste. And after some coercing, he agreed to give them to me. Under the condition that I never mention it to him again. It was 2010, Ginger. It was 2010.
2009, actually.
Oh, sorry. I was wrong. Soon after, Alex...
God, I don't even remember now.
It was 15 years ago, so it could be 2009, 2010. But either way, long time ago. At the time, I was too unnerved to look through the tapes and eventually forgot about them. A few days ago, I found them... Sorry?
Sorry. DVD box says 2009.
Oh, cool. After 3 years and zero contact with Alex, I have decided to look through them. Basically, he got the tapes from Alex, and now he's looking through them. All the tapes are unnumbered and missing timestamps. Other than taking place in the summer of 2006, it is impossible to determine the exact order or date of each. Should I find anything in any of them, I will upload it to keep as a permanent record. Was your birth year 09? Oh my god. Such babies. Such babies. Makes me feel so old. You and me too, Chaos. We're both old. After viewing a couple of tapes and finding nothing unusual... Oh, dang it. I'm too slow. From what I can tell, the following footage takes place inside Alex's house, not the set for Marble Hornets. The audio has been removed. Either the microphone was disabled at the time or it was taken out afterwards. Your son was born in 05? Wow. Even he's older than Marble Hornets. Crazy, right?
The guy.
This was the only thing that was out of the ordinary on this particular tape. After seeing this clip, I'll keep an eye out for occurrences similar to this one in the future. Maybe I'll shrink the full screen thing on the stream just so people can see it a little bit better. Let me.
I can't even read the text on, at least. Well, I can't read it on my phone. Otherwise, I'd be reading along as well.
That's okay. Let me. It's just so we can view it a little bit better. Oh, I kind of need to get rid of the background image. There we go. All right, I can always change it back if people want, but this way at least you can see a little bit more. After a few more hours of tapes, I found this clip of Alex talking while driving. Entry number 2. For now, I will assume that this probably took place before the events of entry number 1.
I got home late tonight and I was taking Rocky for his walk about 20 minutes ago, so around midnight. This was near the set of Marble Hornets. A little bit farther down the road, we saw this really tall guy standing in the middle of the street, just completely still. For whatever reason, this really set off Rocky, and he got really scared. He wouldn't move, and he kept on pulling on his leash to go back home. There was something about this guy that was just, it was strange. So we headed back home. I have a little bit of time left on this tape, and I'm going to go see if he's still hanging around. In fact, I think this is the light that he was standing under. So we're going to have a look here.
Don't think the quality goes any higher, does it? Nope. Classic analog.
There might be subtitles on YouTube.
Okay, you can't really see it well on the camera, but I
That would help.
see...
There is.
anyone
It's not
around
really
here,
quality.
so I guess he's...
I think it's because they've added it themselves, not the auto-generated. Even better.
Yeah.
I think the
Yeah,
to the arc,
There's
the
just
to the arc is important to have the subtitles sometimes, isn't it? At least I think. What he describes, I think he's seen something similar to the figure that appears in entry number 1. To put it simply for those who may or may not understand what was going on. So, while they were shooting on the Marble Hornets set, eventually he drove past the thing and he saw a tall man basically observing them, like abnormally tall. And so he was just going back to a point to see if he could see if the guy was still there underneath that specific light he saw. And then the tape cuts off before he really gets out of the car or anything.
And if I can if I can add something, I'd just like to really hammer home the plot here, because I'm not used to streams. It's a very casual format. But
That's okay.
So the stuff that we're watching, it takes place in 2006. It was a strange summer that we're going to be finding out about. as a student filmmaker, made a film called Marble Hornets. But something happened, and he didn't want to do it anymore. And our narrator, whose name has not been given just yet, convinced the filmmaker Alex to give him the tapes. And 3 years later, he started looking through those tapes. So I'm not entirely sure. There's a reason why it takes him 3 years, but whatever. But so what we're watching takes place in 2006.
Well, is it because he couldn't quite get the tapes immediately? It was like it took a little bit of time for him to even get the tapes.
There's a little bit of a delay, but there's also some plot stuff for later seasons.
That's good.
But like, a lot of the series revolves around the central question of like what happened in 2006. Even as the series goes on, that'll still be an important question.
Quite right. Ginger says she hates car footage. Always feel like someone's going to pop out in front of the car. I get that. That's like no through road in a way. I get that.
Oh god.
Yeah, that's a good one, right? No through road. At least the first one's really good. Let's see. We got
there was more than one.
There is more than one, but they get weird and not very good. It's a bit of a shame. The first one is great though. First one's really. It's because they weren't expecting to make more than one, but because it got really popular, they decided to make more, and then it just kind of got like too weird. Purple Bazooka says, "Hey Nate, didn't see you was live. Happy Valentine's Day! Happy Valentine's Day, everybody! Happy Valentine's Day. We're here to watch horror."
My girlfriend I believe my girlfriend is watching right now. So happy Valentine's Day, Ellie.
Ah, Ellie, you're always welcome in chat. You can always say pipe up. We can read your stuff out. All right, let's carry on. Entry number 3. Starting to notice a vast majority of the tapes are completely unrelated to Marble Hornets. Huh. At some point, it seems Alex began filling himself exclusively. The following clips are taken from roughly 12 tapes. Good to have you with us, Ellie.
There she is.
Yep. This is not the first episode. We're now on entry number 3. They're all quite short.
Yeah.
You haven't really missed much, though. But we'll discuss stuff soon. Oh, the coughing. Mm-hmm. Kind of looks like Adam there, didn't he?
A little bit.
You gotta remember, people, this is a variety of clips from a variety of tapes. Yeah, which is why this one's kind of sporadic and random. But it mainly is focused on Alex.
I think in movie terms, this would be considered like an early establishing shot montage.
And our narrator believes nothing is substantial in these clips. Although it does seem that Alex wanted to have a camera on himself at all times. That's a very good point. Very important point. The clip from entry number 1 is still the best lead I have so far. As to why the project was pulled and why Alex didn't want the tapes to be released and stuff. Entry number 4. Found another tape containing... Oh my goodness, what kind of captions did we suddenly get? What? It says Japanese! Why are these ones Japanese? You know what? I'm going to leave them.
There shouldn't even be subtitles for this one. This one's a silent entry.
Yeah, weirdly, there's Japanese. That's... You know what? I'm going to leave them. Maybe somebody will appreciate that at home. Yeah, so entry number 4 now. Was there anything? No. Just another tape containing strange footage and no audio. Looks like we're walking around a park. Gotta love a good park. Oh, that reminds me. I got to talk to Jordan about Hello Kidship, but we'll talk about that later. There's no audio for this one, people. Don't forget that. We haven't muted it accidentally. This and entry number 1 are the only clips I've found that do not have sound. I'm starting to suspect that Alex removed the audio himself. Okay, we're going to finish this entry, then we'll do some discussions, people. Entry number 5. Before Marble Hornets began production, I went location scouting with Alex. I filmed him talking about the locations he was interested in using. I came across one of the tapes containing this footage that has had its audio severely distorted.
Alright, it's recording.
Don't worry, we'll catch you guys up.
This is the gazebo where I want Brian to come back and reflect. Later in the movie, this will probably be about 3/4 of the way through.
This will just be by himself, right?
Yeah, I'm thinking about maybe putting in.
It's a really big swear word.
And we'll have him like reflect and decide to actually go back to Sarah, try to win her back. And we got a good number.
You want more sound? You got it.
Down there.
To be fair, this is a quieter part, though.
Area. It's very, I don't know, secluded, I guess. Alright.
Alright, this is going to be near Sarah's hunting camp. Over there is where we're going to do the bonfire scene. Over by the fire pit.
Yeah.
I also want to have a shot of the next day where Sarah and Brian, I might also have Tim there at some point, are sitting around thinking about the past, you know, just talking about days gone by. I really like this place since we have the tree line that basically blocks off our entire shooting area, and we also have these really tall trees right in the middle, which personally I just think are really cool.
What's that tall red thing over there?
Yeah, that's like an old climbing wall, or I can't remember if it was a climbing wall or if the fire department. Although I wish that tall grass were all level, or we had more of it just kind of abruptly stops over there.
Yeah.
But I'm sure we can work a way around it.
In addition to the audio distortion, there have also been numerous instances of visual tearing. Notice these occurring in previous entries as well. Dang right. Still like 20 seconds, oh my god. Oh, nice little homage.
Yeah, let's give them a little recap. We'll also hammer home.
Super
Make sure we
convenient.
understand the sharing.
Super convenient, very clever. It is possible that I missed the other occurrences of this in tapes that I've already watched. Okay, perfect time to stop. We'll turn back on the chat box. All right, so I'll catch us up a chat, and then we'll have a quick little kind of recap and discussion, because I'm sure people have questions, and Jordan certainly has answers. I do too, but don't worry. Let's see. Ginger says she knows a bit about Marble Hornets. Isn't it based on a few creepy pastas? Technically, that's kind of true. I don't think it's based on a few. I think it's only truly based on one. But I don't know if we want to spoil exactly which one that is. If you aren't aware of it, we don't really want to spoil it.
Although,
Right.
like the people who were watching it when this first came out were aware of where it came from, but like, it's your call if we give that away, Nathan.
So it's really funny because obviously we got the thumbnail, right? We've got it in the description. I wonder. I suppose we could say it, couldn't we? Because I think it's like other analog horrors of this time. They do more than one. Like Everyman Hybrid, I think does at least two, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Whereas Marble
Everyman
Hornets is
Hybrid is
specifically just one creepypasta.
Yeah, and God, trying to think of like what, how much of this to say and how much of it not to bother with. But it's based on the Slender Man.
Yeah.
That's but like the Slender Man itself was like this was only about a month after the Slender Man was created because
Yeah.
over on the Something Awful forums back in 2009, it was people were making there was a thread about basically like making your own scary little photoshops of trying to make creepy images that looked kind of real, and a user by the name of Victor Surge came up with this whole little like a little bit of vague lore about this faceless man in a business suit. Well, he wasn't supposed to be faceless at first. He's supposed to only be faceless on camera, but that works because all the stuff produced was photographs. But some people were doing some written stuff with blogs like that started with Just Another Fool. That was the first Slender blog. But some people were doing audio, but nobody had done a video thing for it yet, and that's where Marble Hornets came in. This was the first attempt to capture the Slender Man on video, and that's part of where it gets its notoriety from. Is that it was the first one to do it, but also as things went on, it turned out to be very high quality, remarkably well done.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, the fact that there's multiple, there's a whole crazy storyline here. There's additional subplots that go on and everything like this gets quite complex, and it's really interesting because it doesn't feel overly complex, which I think is one of the best things about it. It's somewhat simplified. It focuses on the main aspects that made Slenderman creepy and horrifying and amazing. It did a little bit of extra stuff as well, but it didn't like some things you watch these days of analog horror, and it's just like they try to do a million things, and it's like no. One of the main points that makes analog horror amazing is the fact that it's quite simple. It's captured in a somewhat shitty way. I mean, yeah, obviously analog can be higher quality. I'm not denying that. Jordan and I lived in that day and age. Of course, some of it was actually quite good. But, some people really think that it's like 240p and just like the worst quality ever and stuff. And it's like, it's not that fucking bad. But they try to have multiple world-ending conflicts, supernatural beings, and bizarro fate. A lot of them look the same, which is just fucking annoying, if you ask me. Whereas with this one and Everyman Hybrid, I mean, even though they both contain somewhat similar storylines, Everyman Hybrid is still able to differentiate it enough that it is its own really good analog horror. Still an early one, but not as early as Marble Hornets, if I'm recalling correctly.
Yes, that's right. Everyman Hybrid came after Marble Hornets.
Yeah,
Marble Hornets spawned a lot of copycats. Although it's not fair to just call them copycats because a lot of them did their own kind of thing. But they very much they revolved around Marble Hornets as a community.
Yeah, it was like an inspiration thing, caused other things to be created, which they all luckily found their own identities. Of course, you're going to have some proper copycats that just literally copy paste the same crap, and that's obviously not cool. But if you just take the inspirational ideas and make something of your own with it, I think that's great. It's fantastic. It's really helped form the internet to be what it is today, if you ask
me. Yeah, the communal aspect.
Yeah. Right. Let me get us caught up with chat, and then we'll do a quick recap of what's happened so far, and then we'll crack on. Let's see. It's a horror series. Ellie says, I forget when the To The Ark channel gets introduced, but those are some of your favorites. Well, don't worry.
After entry 9.
After entry 9. There you go. Not a spoiler, because it didn't really spoil anything. Is it possible to raise sound? We did that. Ginger says, my house has a decent patch of woods behind it. Vids like this with forests always make you scared to take your dogs out at night. I get that. I can understand that. But can't do anything about it, so good luck. Purple says, doesn't look like a climbing wall. Dang right. Dang right it doesn't. Very good, but pay attention, because it is kind of important. Kind of important. Let's see. I'm about to say Slenderman. Chaos says was about to say something awful forums. Quite right. Quite right. It's very good that, especially us older people, we know some of these older times. All creepypasta are either complete dipshit or amazing. A lot of them are poorly written, like Jeff the Killer. Yeah, I mean, Jeff the Killer isn't great, but it's also not long. It's just a simple little story with a creepy face, which is, I mean, that's it. That's the creepypasta. That's Jeff the Killer, and people exploded it into something else. It's like, yeah, but it's just a creepy face. Like, come on. Particularly like Slenderman. Yeah, so Slenderman's it's definitely one of the more prominent, especially earlier internet horror aspects, I would say. And the best part is it doesn't have to do anything more supernatural or weird or crazy. It's just he is what he is, and everybody just uses that as perfectly as possible. I think it's just classic. Tall, creepy man in the woods, sometimes has tentacles, distorts your video, probably kills you. Great. Great and simple. Oh, and then of course, Ginger's talking about the back rooms. Yeah, the back rooms. Gotta love the back rooms. I love everything about the back rooms. I love the fact that there are different versions of it. I love the fact there are different sites, different monsters, entities. Some of them don't even have monsters. We can go on and on about back rooms, but we're talking about Marvel Hornets today. Dang right. Ugh, I agree, Chaos. I also love some of the trash creepypasta. All right, so Jordan, would you like to give us a quick little recap about where we've come from the intro to this point?
Right. Well, I did give a little bit of a recap around about entry 2, but I can recap. So, back in 2006, there was a college student doing a filmmaker course. So, a student filmmaker by the name of Alex Crayley. He wanted to make a film titled Marble Hornets. It's not a very good film. Like that's half a. Like, I wouldn't really even call that a spoiler. It hasn't really come up yet, but there's been a bit of an indication because he was trying to make behind the scenes stuff before he'd even filmed anything for it.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, like he got his friends involved in that and just trying to make some sort of a film. You'll learn a bit more about what it was about later. It's not that important, but it's just fun details. But something happened in 2006 that made him decide. Well, first of all, it made him decide to start filming himself a lot more than the actual film. And then, after some as yet unknown amount of time, he stopped filming entirely. And his plan was to burn the tapes. But his friend, who we now have established his name Jay, that showed up in the subtitles, pardon me, his friend Jay convinced Alex to give him the tapes rather than destroy them. And then Alex never spoke to him again, and he didn't want to hear anything about the film ever again. And about 3 years passed, with Jay kind of forgetting that he has the tapes. And then he finds the tapes, and he starts looking through them and uploading anything interesting he finds here. And of the stuff that he's found, most of it has been the strangeness of Alex recording himself, even at very confusing times, just filming himself while he's working on a computer. There's nothing interesting to see there. He's filmed himself going to like Walmart to pick up some more tapes or more battery for the camera. He's filmed himself just drawing stuff, which we haven't seen what he's drawing yet. But like, so clearly, like we've seen Alex behaving strangely. We've also seen in some strange clips without audio a strange man in his suit with very little context, just often coming up to Alex's house or encountering him in the park. There's been no context for that, and that is itself what's kind of intriguing about it. And then with entry 5, which we just watched, I'll say, like, we've also seen signs that Alex is becoming paranoid, possibly about this man in the suit, but he's just becoming very paranoid. There's an entry 2 had him driving and narrating about how he was just getting very paranoid walking his dog in the dark. And he did not find anything when he went to check there again. But anyway, so then we come to entry 5, which was it was Alex going location scouting with Jay. Nothing really important happened in there. It was a lot of just looking at the trees and Alex talking about his film. But what is notable is that we got the first instance of genuine audio distortion. It was very difficult to hear the audio for about half of the tape. And there's no clear indication in the tape of what might have caused that the distortion, what the significance might be. And I imagine that Jay uploaded it just because it was a curiosity. He's uploading curiosities right now. I suppose that he's just I imagine like Jay's just doing this for the hell of it, but we'll have to see if he finds anything really compelling or really pressing. And I think that's the best recap I can give for this present point.
Very good. Very good. All right, everybody. I did see something interesting in chat. I know you guys have good little conversations. I'm happy for you. Kane Pixels. Oh, yes. I've seen quite a lot of Kane Pixel stuff. One of the most impressive uses of Blender I've ever seen. Great Backrooms videos, also with the Rolling Giant, the oldest view kind of stuff. Fantastic. Obviously, we'll watch more of his stuff in the future. But, oh yeah, we've seen plenty of it. Kane Pixel is great. He just knows what he's doing. All right, let's jump into some more, shall we? Chat box off. Entry number 6. I found the following clip at the beginning of a new tape. Did you know? This could be the continuation of entry number 1, which took place at the end of a tape. No audio. But for context, it looks like it's being filmed from inside of a house in the dark. Almost like somebody's paranoid that they're being watched. Da-da-da, paranoia confirmed. Tall man. Spying. Now that was 6. Number 7. The tape I just watched consisted entirely of raw footage from Marble Hornets, the studio film project Alex was trying to do. Other than Brian, Alex also seems to be talking to a girl off camera at one point. Could be Sarah.
New character, Brian.
Brian! Unlocked.
Let's start again.
Let's start again. To look at you.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
All right, I'm rolling, and just a second, let me.
I thought you were talking to her.
Oh. Crap, I just lost this script. And I'm talking to Brian. Yeah, don't say anything, because the camera picks it up. All right, you ready?
Yeah. Are you gonna feed me Tim's lines?
Yeah, just a second. All right. Action.
I don't know. This town just doesn't feel the same to me anymore. I missed it so much when I was in college. But now that I'm back, I just feel like a depressed teenager all over again. Stuck in a loop of unhappiness.
Maybe you've grown up.
I don't know. Maybe this town has grown up.
What?
Maybe it has. All right, good.
Are we gonna do it again? Are we?
No, we're done.
You see him.
That's it?
Yeah, we're done.
Maybe can we pause this one after the entry? Oh, I meant after the entry, but that's basically it anyway.
Someone was following Alex. And making the volume too loud. Number 8.
Right, so can we pause it now?
Yep. What's up?
All right. What was it? We got a couple of things. First of all, just on a personal note, entry 7 was when I first watched Marble Hornets, which was during season 1 actually, back in I think it was 2010.
Mm.
When I first watched it, entry 7 was the one where I got hooked on it, and I kind of really. I love the dialogue. I love the loop of unhappiness. That's really awful dialogue, and it's very convincing, very good stuff. But like when I first watched entry 7, I didn't even see the Slender Man. I didn't notice. Because it doesn't really draw attention to him, even though it frames him like he's back there.
Mm.
But when I went back and I found some discussions of people mentioning that he's in entry 7, and I go back and look, and it just kind of freaks me out. Like he'd been there the whole time without me even noticing. That's a really cool feeling, because it's a feeling of, well, it's just It's exactly what it sounds like. The feeling of not realizing that something threatening has been there.
Yep.
But the second point is something I suppose I forgot to bring up during the recap, although I think it might be better this way. But bring it up now. One of the other things that the first several entries did was introduce us to the concept of visual tearing on the videos. So every now and again, you'll see the video going along, and then you'll see like a little glitch at the bottom of the screen, and the image kind of like jumps up a bit. And you're not supposed to immediately know what the significance is of that. It's just the video glitching up. but the series kind of slowly hints to you through the early entries that the visual tearing indicates that you're about to see the Slender Man. And entry 7 is supposed to be there to confirm that. Because we see the visual tearing rather early on in this, and that's supposed to get us watching the screen intently, looking for him. Like, where's he going to show up? And which may have even been what happened to me. I didn't notice it right in front of me because I was looking for all the details. But that's one of the things that this series does very well. It's not too overt about it, but it gets you. It gets you wanting to search and wanting to seek, wanting to find, wanting to find the secrets, and it's fun, and that's all I had to say.
Quite right. That's okay. Well, while you've been talking, I was taking us back to the scenes you were talking about, like this one, for example, the visual glitch. But then what else is interesting is that even though it hints that he's coming, you don't know exactly when he's coming, right? Because even when you look back here, obviously he's not there right away. But even a couple of seconds ahead, still not back there, but there's no more visual tearing. So you're like, oh, okay, well, maybe he's not appeared yet, but the fact is, like you said, he will appear. And then you keep going for like another 20, 30 seconds, and then all of a sudden, almost a minute later, he appears. But to be fair, Brian's blocking the view a lot of the time, so we could have appeared even earlier. We aren't fully aware. But it's great. You're right. There's just a little nuances that you kind of pick up on. It's like, wow, that's so good. And I completely agree. This is definitely one of the moments where you're like, even in broad daylight, you're like, wow, he's there, which is just like, what could really happen? If he's willing to come out in broad daylight like this, I mean, it's not like he's trying to hide himself. He's not like hiding behind a bin or anything. He's out in the fucking open. So it really makes you think, like, if something crazy could happen, it absolutely could. Slenderman clearly does not care. He's not playing by the rules, even if there were rules. It's just, it's definitely one of the things that draws you in. You're like, what is he going to do? It's awesome. So I agree with you. Although I didn't watch it at the same time you did. I watched it years later because you really wanted me to get into it. I'm really glad. I'm real glad you did. Or else we might not be here now. Hi, Sebastian. You woke up from your nap, buddy. We might get a little bit of cat butt if you're lucky, everybody.
I think I remember the exact day that I got you into it. It was January 2nd, 2011. But yeah, it was exactly that. Because we shared a pizza, and it was my birthday, and you wanted to do something that I wanted to do, so I showed you Marble Hornets.
I think it makes sense that on somebody's birthday you do something they want to do, right? And quite frankly, I'm glad we did, because it kind of started my internet horror journey. Granted, I didn't go as hardcore into that world right away. It definitely took quite a number of years to get to this point, And I'd say the only reason I fully immersed myself in it is because obviously the YouTube thing kind of exploded because of a different medium of internet horror, because it was Twitter stories and stuff. But still, it all comes back to, funnily enough, early internet horror, analog horror, whatever you want to define it as. It's just very funny that. It's very funny. All right. Entry 8. I'll try to keep Sebastian distracted. I did not notice any visual tearing anywhere in this tape. However, the audio does cut out. Fair point, Purple. Choosing who sees him. Good idea. Good thought on that. Selective vision, I guess. But I think he will be visible to everybody, right? I'm not sure. The rest of the tape remains too dark to see and the audio never comes back. But that's a fair point, though. That's a fair point. And that was entry 8. Entry 9.
We've seen some of the things he was drawing.
Never seen Alex act the way he does in the following raw footage from Marble Hornets.
Seemed really distant ever since he came back, And? I mean, have you talked to him at all?
Correct, Purple.
No.
Correct.
Well, did he come back because of you? Because he never told me why he was here.
But the games took inspiration from this, so
When he went off to the city, and that's that.
this came first.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Are there not subtitles for this?
So, I mean, what's the plan now for you? What's next?
I'm not really gonna do anything.
We're gonna do it again.
He's so cool.
The pacing still feels
Smoking a
weird.
cigarette.
It doesn't sound like a conversation. You guys still sound like you're reading off.
Oh, Sebastian, nope.
Let's just have a conversation. Let's do it again.
Still, he thinks.
Majestic Sideburns. Quite right. Quite right, Ellie.
Can we go yet?
Action. Well, no, we can't.
Ginger, your monster under the bed was Slender Man? Oh my god. That's horrifying. I don't think he fits under beds, though. Maybe in a closet.
Why would you have anything to do anyway? You knew you were coming on set. You knew this could take a while.
It's all good, Purple.
Yeah,
Don't worry.
supposed to be an afternoon
We're here to
shoot.
learn, aren't we?
You guys would do it right first.
Some of the earliest Slender Man origins right here.
Let's just do it again. Just stop.
Alright.
Action.
He seemed really distant ever since he came back,
Cut
you know?
from the beginning.
Rolling.
What? Roll.
That's creepy,
Did
Purple.
you not have it
That's
recording
creepy.
during the break? I told you to keep the camera recording at all times. Oh, how long was it all?
I forgot for a second.
You forgot. I gave you one job. All you're supposed to do was come in here, set up the camera, make
One
sure it doesn't
job.
fall over, and press record once. You don't stop it at all. I made this extremely clear.
If this is gonna go on for a while, can I get a script again?
You're saving time on the tapes.
You helped me load up the car. You know how many tapes we have. If we run out of time on this tape, we'll get another. It's not a problem. I mean, how clear do I have to make it before you listen? I mean, you brought your dog. How many sentences? Memorize your lines.
Brought your dog.
You brought your dog.
Memorize your lines. Just don't.
We can't shoot a movie now. You brought your dog.
I have the script in every scene.
Exactly.
Yeah, act. How about that?
Oh yeah. That's real nice. You know, considering how much you're paying us and everything.
Why would I pay you for what you're giving me?
Damn.
Really?
Oh, that's real nice.
Who else is gonna work with you with this
Yep.
attitude?
Pick up Sebastian.
Yeah, you already spent so much money on tapes. You can't afford actors anyway.
Thank you, Sebastian.
Let's just get it done with. All right? Let's just get it done. I'm sorry. Just don't stop recording. It's not a problem. Plenty of tapes.
Okay, fine. Sorry.
It's okay, Seth. You did your best, buddy. Alex seems to have been filming himself constantly, even before he stopped work at Marble Hornets. Whoever had been following Alex seems to have stressed him to the point of it affecting his personality. Oh, Sebastian, gross. So before we start jumping too much into the arc stuff, I'm gonna go pee. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put the chat box back up, and you guys can have chats with Jordan if you want. I'll be back in just a bit.
Christ.
It's okay. You can see the chat, can't you?
Yep, I can see it on the TV.
Okay. Awesome. I'll see you in a bit.
Hi there, everybody. I'm not a streamer, so I'm not very accustomed to this. Pretty visuals in the subtitles, like there. That's not the subtitles. That's the video we're gonna get to. I'm actually surprised that he paused it here of all places. Hi there, Chaos Smith. Hi there, Ellie. Hi there, Gingerbread. I don't know what to how to entertain you. I've got the DVD. It's falling apart a little bit because this is an old copy. It's a season 1 DVD. This is actually the first printing of it. It's maybe arguably a collector's item because it's got a typo on the back. Let's see if I can get pointed out. Let's see. Where is it? In 2006, a student filmmaker named Alex. That's a first edition typo. I'm gonna have to hang on. I've got to see if this shows up on the screen, but there's a delay. So give me a second. Let's see. Where is it? Terrible. How the fuck do I? Okay, so go like there. I apologize for this long delay, but whatever. You can just about see it. Yes, there's a film manager thing. And now I appear on the phone. What the hell?
He sees himself.
Later reprintings remove that typo. There's some more comments there that I'm noticing. Do you have your own YouTube channel? I do. My YouTube channel is... What is my YouTube? I think I'm just Jordan Dueling. I've got some Let's Plays.
Are they on your website?
I linked to the all the important videos are on my website. My YouTube channel just has a lot of unimportant stuff. Like I also write music. I post those on YouTube, but I also post them on my website for download. I write a lot of stories. I write a lot of horror stories myself.
He sure does.
Definitely inspired. Like Marble Hornets got me started on interested in making internet horror. Hang on, we've got some more comments here. Yo, that's really dope. Yeah, cool. Best profession film anchor. Yep. You played Lost in Vivo and got skipped. That's true. I played Lost in Vivo on my YouTube channel.
It's a great game.
The recording was terrible. Like the recording would not show, but I was able to preserve the audio, and which was important because I got to the first enemy and I screamed. The most high-pitched scream I've ever done.
Oh, the creepy guy who matches his own artwork. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly that.
I agree. I was like, who the fuck is this guy?
And I got to that. I killed that enemy, and then I just paused and just laughed maniacally, and then just quit. Like, yeah, you guys can play this yourselves.
Or you can watch my playthrough. I've got it somewhere. Oh, thank you.
Another comment. Have you played the Fears of Phantom games? They're truly terrifying. I haven't even heard of the Fears of Phantom games.
Oh, I think they mean fears of Fathom or Fears to Fathom.
I haven't heard of that either.
They're really good because they're steeped in true stories. So they're like true situations that have happened to people, and it's like a little episodic horror story. One of them is about like somebody breaking into a house, for example. There's another one about being stalked, and another one takes place in like a camp. I can't quite remember all the details, but those are really good. They're really good. I've got, I think, 4 episodes of them. They're really, really, really good.
I suppose I should also plug that, like, while I'm terrible at horror games, I have been able to play a couple of them, like, pretty much all the way through for my YouTube channel. I played through Mouthwashing.
That's a great one. Mouthwashing is so good. It's messed up, but it's so good.
I recommended it to you. But I also played through Silent Hill 2, the recent remake that came out in October.
Oh,
and I was able to play all the way through that one. It's all on my YouTube channel. I loved every second of that. Silent Hill 2 was great.
So if you guys want to see any of the stuff that Jordan works on, including his YouTube things, his stories, in the description of this live stream, I have put his website link. So from there, you can see everything he does.
It's dj32.neocities.org.
Boom. There we go. Happy plug. Because I didn't have text ready to put on screen. Oh, hi. Good. Glad to be back. Oh, that's good. I'm glad you guys are having good chats. Oh. Silent Hill is amazing. You can't deny Silent Hill. It's just...
Yeah.
What was really annoying, though, is the fact that they decided to remake number 2, which obviously, although is one of the best Silent Hills, completely missed 1. Why not remake 1? Yeah. Come on.
It would be cool if they remade 1. Although 2 is a standalone story, that they could get away with remaking it.
Well, yeah, but they're all essentially standalone stories. They're not exactly connected, except for the fact that they all take place in Silent Hill at one point or another. But it's just annoying that completely missed the mark of why not remake number 1? Do what Resident Evil... Well, actually, no, to be fair, Resident Evil also did the same thing, where they truly remade number 2 and then went on from there, and then they're going to go back to the first one. It's like, come on, bro.
Well, I thought it was because they'd already remade number 1 for the GameCube, and they brought that port over to Steam.
So annoyingly, that's technically a HD remaster, and I only know that because I also have it on the PC, which is how I've played number 1. And although it is good, they've announced that they're actually doing a proper remake like they've done 2 and 3 for number 1. So it's like, What was the point of doing a HD remaster if you were ultimately going to remake it anyway? So now we're going to have 3 versions of the same game.
Yeah.
It's just annoying after a point.
They're all loosely based on Alone in the Dark anyway.
Yeah. You know what? That's pretty true. And Alone in the Dark is quite good. The remake for that, pretty good, actually. Pretty good. The classics were good too, but they're much harder to record. Not everything picks up super well. Which is a big reason I haven't been able to do all the Silent Hills either. They don't all pick, they weirdly don't all record. Because they're using like PlayStation older technology, and for some reason those don't pick up super well on capture cards. Haven't figured it out yet. But that's just me. But we'll definitely delve into some more horror stuff, I'm sure. Shall we carry on?
Yeah. I may want to rewind to the start of this. Well, it's only like 2 seconds, but it's a short video.
We will do so.
But this is the first for the arc entry. This is an important milestone for the plot. Although, like, it's best not to explain any of this yet. There will come a point this season where I can give a sort of a recap about To the Ark. But right now, just completely no context. Just let it happen.
So, I completely agree with you. This is completely random if you weren't already aware of it. Because this takes place on an entirely separate YouTube channel. Now, Jordan, can you clarify? You may or may not know. Before, when this happened, was there any way to tell that, you needed to go here?
Yes, because this was back in the days when YouTube had a feature that allowed you to make video responses to other videos. So the To the Ark videos were the only responses to certain entries. And that, so like you're supposed to kind of figure out like, oh, hey, the creators allowed these video responses to be put on there. So that means that the creators like sanction these videos in some way. So whatever these To the Ark things are, they must be important. Although like, I imagine like for a time, it was just a strange curiosity, but as it goes on, it becomes more relevant.
I really wish they brought back video responses because that would allow so much more creativity on this platform. Because otherwise, you just have to kind of put it all in a playlist or secretly code it somewhere. Maybe try to have people figure out a link or anything like that, which I think is creative. But the video responses, I think, it's just an additional touch, and it's weird that they stopped doing that.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess they have info cards, but it's not the same. It's not the same. Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, like we were saying, this is the first To the Ark video, which takes place in an entirely separate YouTube channel, but it is still relevant to the story. It might not make a lot of sense. Don't worry, we'll talk about it later. Let's go. Closely. Entry 10. Back on the main channel. Oh, hi, Sebastian. Found another troubling clip. Whatever was following Alex has him running now. With no audio. It's really funny that he said, oh, these are the only two that don't have audio. Not true. Not true.
And the Slender Man is also in in this video. It's a bit harder to notice because it's a very dark video and very frantic.
See if we can catch him. Oh! I think he's just there, isn't he? Oh yeah, the most played. That's definitely. Oh, I think I can do.
That feature is new, and we'll give it away.
I can do frame by frame. Hang on. Got it. It's so small. But yeah, you could just about see that he's got a little tie.
Yeah.
That's like the only bit of a giveaway. It's such a small little moment. So well done. But then he panics, runs away.
Yeah.
It's just great. Honestly, don't make them like they used to. This is probably why Cloverfield did this.
I think Cloverfield predated this by 2 years. I think Cloverfield was 2007.
Maybe.
I think.
Hard to say. Don't remember. But very similar video style. Whole lot of running, first person camera, can't see a lot.
Yeah.
Still cool though. Oh, we saw him again. Hang on. Frame by frame. Wait. Yeah, look. You can barely make him out, but that's him. Any more visible? Not really. Nope. Okay. Oh. Entry 10. To the Ark. Lakes in stillness will take every life of the night.
Now, I can point something out for this one if you want to pause it.
Yep.
So, the first To the Ark video was just a strange little thing. There is a hidden meaning in it, but it doesn't. It just amounted to look closely. It was just telling you to pay attention. This one is what it started to feel a bit more relevant because of that strange audio in the background. I remember rather distinctly around the time. Well, I wasn't with Marble Hornets when this came out, but I read the discussions from back then. Somebody got an inkling, and they decided to line up that To the Ark video with entry 10 because entry 10 had no audio, and they were able to link it up pretty much perfectly. So it's the missing audio from entry 10, which already raises some questions about who this To the Ark person is. There's somebody who has access to stuff that not even Jay has access to. And
So this video we're watching right now, this To the Ark video named Operator, syncs up perfectly audio-wise to the entry number 10 you said.
Yeah, I mean, like, not to the whole entry, but specifically there's one of the points where Alex notices the Slender Man. Because in this, the audio in this To the Ark entry is somebody walking kind of gently through the woods and then suddenly stopping. And then there's a weird like bird noise, and then they start running. And that does it links up pretty well with certain moments in entry 10.
That's so cool. It's so cleverly creative. Like, it's I mean the funniest part. I mean you would know as well, Jordan, since you also edit videos for I'm somewhat living. The fact that you can just separate audio and video, but I've never thought to be like, hey, I'm going to take this video, I'm going to put it in an entirely different thing. It's so creatively clever, and the fact that somebody was like, oh, you know what, I'm going to try something, and it turns out they were correct. It's so simply clever, right?
It was good for the medium. It kept the fans engaged. It kept the diehard ones, the ones who really want to dig around for codes. It keeps them engaged, and not many things get to do that.
Damn right.
So it's good for the internet.
It was especially 15 years ago. What a great idea! What a great idea. Chaos also remembers reading this discussion. Oh, amazing! Absolutely amazing. I think that's so cool. I think that is super, super cool. What a great little fun fact. So Marble Hornets was an ARG too, Ginger asked.
Technically.
Somewhat. It's like
it had ARG elements, but they kind of get phased out throughout it. Like, Marble Hornets is first and foremost a narrative, but there are little game-like, code-like elements to it to keep the audience engaged. Well, it's the kind of audience who wants to be engaged in that kind of thing.
ARG elements. I think that's the right way to put it. It makes me think of like Shipwreck 64, how it's a game, but it also has ARG elements, but it's not a full-on ARG. Which, if you haven't played that, Jordan, let me tell you, horrifying, really clever.
I'll look into it.
It's a fake Nintendo 64 game, which was banned within a week for various reasons. But we'll talk about that later. Oh, you all good?
Yep.
Okay. Let's crack on.
Yeah.
Entry 11. This is fun. This is really good. I found another clip of a close encounter. However, I don't think Alex was aware of it. For context, those are some of the drawings he's been doing.
Yeah.
Dang right, Chaos. Dang right. Yet again, him filming himself in his house.
Yep.
No worries, Ginger. You take care. Enjoy your day.
I like Ginger.
You don't think his mental state is doing good? You're right, Purple. But there's a reason for it. It's one thing to be paranoid about something that isn't true. It's different to be paranoid about something that is true. Oh, did you see it? Did you see it? Let me go back a couple of frames. Hang on. It's like one of those ghost tapes, you know, where like, nothing really creepy is going on, but if you pay attention, just up here, I'm gonna play it frame by frame, and you'll see things move and a shadow, which doesn't make sense because he's home alone. All right, so I'm just gonna keep running through the frames. You'll see it happen. There's the shadow.
It's not that hard. It's not that easy to miss. it's pretty obvious. But I've got something that might blow your mind a little bit. The Slender Man appears before that in this video.
Oh, does he now?
I don't know if it'll show up in like the most replayed seek bar, but if you can go back, there's a part where Alex goes to the kitchen. He looks out the window, and then after that, he leaves the kitchen and walks across a dark living room, and he passes by a window in the dark.
Probably before the stairs, I would say. Let's see. So he's going downstairs.
Yeah, he'll go to the kitchen. The light will be on in the kitchen. That's rather easy to see. Look at this tiny little screen on my phone. And so that's him looking through the window, I presume. And then he leaves the kitchen into a dark room. Oh, no, this is the kitchen. Okay.
So now he's gone to the kitchen. So it's after the kitchen, right?
After the kitchen.
Okay, so after the kitchen, he goes to a dark living room. Okay, I'll be ready.
Yes. No, it'll be when he can see a window.
Okay.
Yeah. Right.
Oh, is this him here? Is he inside the
Yes,
house?
it is.
Oh yeah, look, you could just about make it out. Oh my goodness!
And turned up the contrast on these frames, and it's very clear that there's clearly a man there.
Yeah, you could tell if you look just carefully that there's the white shirt, you got the thin tie. Holy cow! Oh yeah, it looks like the most replayed. It looks like a lot of people notice it too. It's amazing. What a good catch. It just reminds me why we needed you for this. Honestly, I mean, you know way more about this than I do. Although I enjoy this. I think this is definitely one of the best things about analog horror. But it's, you know, I need somebody who's an expert, at least on this. Carnage Kills, hey, any idea on the next Weird Birds? Look, as I tell everybody, I'm just the narrator for it. And I also star in it, but I'm not the creator. He's working on it. I don't know when it's happening, okay? I know what it's supposed to be, which is how I know when it happens, but I can't make a video on something that doesn't exist. So, at the moment, I don't know. I have no idea. I'll update you when I know, if that helps. One day. But there are other stories to tell anyway. Deluge, more to the arc. Happy Sad Vlogs. I'm trying, okay? I'm trying. Watching you. Now, he was there was a little weird audio in the background, almost like it was saying something. I wonder if we go back, you can't do subtitles. That was my first thought. I was wondering if we could try to figure out what it is, though. Hang on, let me raise the volume. Let's see if we can figure out what's going on. I have no idea what he's saying. You know,
I can't. I couldn't hear it, but if it's one that I'm remembering, it should be. I think it's Alex backwards. Like Alex, or Zela, Zela.
Zilla. Oh, okay. Oh, maybe. It could be. Yeah. Because I have no idea. But that kind of makes sense. So let's see. Let's try it again. It could be. Zella, it could be. Interesting. Yet again, the To the Ark stuff is weird and it's coded, but it's relevant. Although it doesn't always make sense right away, so don't worry. It'll come up.
And it also breaks up the pacing. Like it breaks up the. It gives us some variety.
Quite right. Entry 12. I found another clip with heavy distortion. In it, Alex is. Oh no.
I don't know. He'll move. Let's go ahead and get this shot. It's so odd. As long as we have the camera shot, just get set to control it, and we'll be out of here in a minute. Are we doing live? Not in this part. We're just walking to the river, and that's when you guys will start picking up. Okay.
Yet again.
Just follow us as we cross.
I'm sorry. I won't talk.
I hope so. And that's about as far as we're gonna go. We don't want that. That would be gross.
Just highlighting him. That's all.
Let's get him off the set. I hope he's not angry at it. Hey, buddy.
What's he doing?
And Alex starts walking up to him.
Just like it's casual. But it makes you wonder, was this before he got paranoid? Or after? Because I think if he were if this was after paranoia, he wouldn't just walk up to him. So I feel like that was a before.
Yeah, it does seem fairly early on.
Yeah. But based on previous reactions we've seen of him, that's what I'm gathering anyway. Sounds like when your MP3 player went haywire. Yeah, right. Oh, don't worry, guys. We're all here for a good time. What we got? Impurity. More To the Ark. Begin. Oh, it's a lot of zeros. Wait. Take care, Carnage Kills. Sounds like a dead phone line. And then whatever you describe that as.
Little crunch.
Little crunch. Yeah, maybe a big crunch. Oh, God. All right, let's do entry 13, then we'll discuss some ideas and some thoughts.
Okay.
Yeah, this one's kind of low.
Do you have the extra one?
No, I think I left it in the car. Can you go get it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, wait, where is it?
You saw...
I think I left it in the passenger seat.
Oh, you see a bit of his face. You see his face.
The trunk.
His first appearance of his face.
Going, though, so just... Okay.
Enter Jay.
We finally see Jay's face, the narrator of this channel. Oh, yes. The abandoned building. A lot of audio cut. Must mean something significant. A mannequin. Probably not. Probably a real Slenderman. So
And there's another easy to miss one in about halfway through that video.
Oh, yeah?
Slenderman in the background.
Hang on, let's go back. Let's go back. Around here, probably the most replayed part.
Yeah, it'll be through a fence.
Through a fence.
Yeah.
Oh, like through this fence.
Yeah.
If we go back, hang on. Let's see. Oh yeah, look. Ah, I had no idea. Wow, that blends really well. That is so easily missable. Wow.
It has been said that part of the appeal of the Slender Man and Marble Hornets by extension is it's Where's Wally, but for horror nerds. Or as the Americans would say, Where's Waldo?
Oh my god, you that's actually that's a great way to think about this because it's so true. There's tons of videos where clearly there's hidden Slenderman and not so hidden Slenderman. Oh my god, that's a great way to think about it. And then obviously you got the ending great headshot of Slendy. Hang on.
Yeah.
Let's just get that up for everybody. Oh, look at his creepy little snap neck looking ass. Does it have a better shot than that? I don't think so. I think it's kind of the best right there, at least for the moment. Just kind of like that. So let's dissect. Let's discuss a little bit. So obviously we've gone through quite a number of the entries on the main channel for season 1. We're halfway through essentially, at least the main channel. The To the Ark, I don't know how many of those there are exactly, but I know it's not an insane amount. And for the most part, as Jordan mentioned greatly, they don't seem relevant. They're almost kind of fucking random. They're kind of weird and codey in a way, and you're not exactly sure where the relevancy is, especially because you don't feel like what they're trying to say lines up with anything you've seen yet, right? But that doesn't mean they're not relevant, because like Jordan said, back in 10 to 15 years ago when this was all coming out, they were video responses to this main channel, which the creator of the channel has to specifically allow that, which means that they're cherry picking specific video responses that are relevant, and because yet again they're the creators of To the Ark as well, but we'll learn more about that later on. And it's just weird, right? It was a weird touch because it's like, why these videos? What's special about these videos? Because it's not like the description really said much. It's not like there was a whole lot going on. They were kind of weird and not the easiest to decipher. And yeah, so that's how the To the Ark kind of begins its play. It's kind of fucking around with it. Maybe there's something more to it. You're not really sure at the time, especially this far into the season 1. But what else is interesting, though, is the fact that through this, we see a lot of the quote-unquote behind the scenes of the attempts to shoot the actual Marble Hornets project that Alex was working on through these tapes. And we see that, it's typical, like, feels like a student project. He's got an idea for a film/movie thing or whatever. He's got people involved, and they're trying to do this, they're trying to do that. He has frustrations as a director, probably. Either he's an asshole, which you don't really feel like he is an asshole. You just see that in 1 or 2 videos he's very frustrated because of maybe extenuating circumstances. You're not really sure. But we see that he gets very paranoid through a lot of these tapes. We see that he films himself a lot. And we're not talking like, oh my goodness, here's my Instagram thing. We're talking like, has a camcorder, films himself. Like, kind of a weird, almost wanting to capture paranormal activity kind of stuff where you're filming everything, right? And what else is interesting about that is, he also has these bizarro drawings in his room. Like, there's a lot of these weird things that make it important to understand. He's filming himself for a reason. It's not because he wants to, glorify himself and make himself look like he's an amazing dude. It's not like that. It's because he knows something is going on. He doesn't know how to explain it. Nobody will probably believe him, so he needs to film evidence that he can catch. But yet again, it's not predictable. He doesn't know when it's going to happen, how it's going to happen. He just knows it affects his camera the most and his mental stability. And it makes so sense. A big reason why he buys shit tons of tapes. He even mentions that in the one behind the scenes where they were trying to shoot the actual student project thing. It's interesting. And this is yet again probably a location scouting thing, and turns out, oh my god, the Slenderman dude's here again. But yet again, only fucking with Alex. That's one of the most important things about, especially this series up to this point, is Alex is the only one who's really seen him. Besides what we've seen in that previous entry where, there's like a guy. Everybody was aware there was a guy, but Alex was the only one who approached him. So, it's weird, right? Because then it makes you wonder, well, like somebody in the chat previously pointed out, Is Slender Man making sure he's only seen by Alex? Probably. That makes a lot of sense. But it's not like he's invisible. Because he could definitely be seen. He's being picked up on camera. He's absolutely visible to other people. It's weird, right? So you've got this crazy, slender, tall man entity dude who can distort video and audio, who is maliciously stalking Alex. But we don't know why. We don't know what he wants. It's not like he talks. But we know Alex is afraid of him. That's what we got so far. So let me put chat backs on. What are your thoughts, Jordan?
I think I think you've done a good job of laying down the fundamental questions and the fundamental, especially for this point in the series. But there's like a couple more important things to bring up, although they're very quiet right now. Like the main thing is Jay. Jay is here. We're watching this. We're watching Alex, and we're thinking about Alex. We're thinking about the events of 2006. But at the same time, we're watching something that takes place in 2009. It's some guy named Jay posting these videos. But we haven't really wondered much about him yet. But
It's true.
and I think like it's arguable as let's just say, like it's a question at this point. Like maybe To the Ark is forcing the issue because an open question, and this is just an open question in general, is whether like who To the Ark is speaking to. Is To the Ark responding to the content? Is he responding to Alex, or is he responding to Jay for posting these videos? Is he telling Jay to look closely? Is he telling him to pay more attention to start rethinking the way that he's looking at this? And there's this open question here of like who is Jay as a character, and maybe the entries will start to address that. But for now, it's been focused primarily on Alex. We've gone fairly far in the story with Alex, and yeah, that's what I'll say.
Well, no, you absolutely have a great point, though. The fact that, we're seeing the tapes from the perspective mainly of Alex because he was the one doing the majority of the filming, especially because Marble Hornets is his project, which makes a lot of sense. And then the other tapes are seeing his descent into madness and his investigation of whatever the fuck is going on with him. But you're right. It's not him uploading it to the internet in 2009. It's Jay. But, early on, we don't truly know it's Jay. We kind of figured out via context clues that the narrator said that they're part of the project and that they're the one talking to Alex in one of the entries, and that's how we discover, okay, so Jay is the one who's uploading these videos, and they're the one investigating this whole situation because they don't know why Alex pulled the plug on this project. It looked like they'd done quite a lot of work on it. They were part of it as well. So we understand Jay had, some level of impact in the video, the project or whatever, and I suppose it was just morbid curiosity as to why he decided, well, why did he not follow through with this project? He's got all these tapes. Why didn't he do it? So I guess that's the only thing I could see as to how we establish him as a character at this point is the fact that he's somewhat relevant to the story. If he was a completely random dude, that'd be a bit different. But I guess he's kind of got a place. But at the same time, it doesn't feel like he's a main character. Maybe he's just one of the guys who films, or maybe he edits or something. We don't know exactly his role, but we know he's a part of this story somehow.
Yeah, he helped Alex make the footage, make the film back in the day to some extent because we just saw him on this entry, and also, but like it can't be emphasized enough that like Jay is the reason that this series exists because Alex wanted to burn the tapes. Jay specifically talked him out of burning the tapes. So why would Alex want to burn them? Is there a benefit to burning them? Is there a downside to not burning them? And to like Jay has agency here. But also, 100%. I think we should get to the next To the Ark entry because it's the relevant one.
We shall. Let's go. Exit. Flash warning. Ooh. Feels creepy.
I don't know if you remember how the last entry began. Like Alex and Jay had a conversation.
Yeah. They were investigating an abandoned building, I think, for a future video.
Yeah, and Jay needed to find tape or batteries or something, and Alex told him to look in the car.
Ah, so this is connected to that.
Yeah.
Purple, I don't think you can shoot Slender Man. Although now I have to confirm with Jordan. Jordan, can somebody shoot Slender Man?
Depends on the story. I could write a story where somebody shoots the Slender Man, but
I think one of the stories.
People don't try.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think people have tried to fight Slender Man and it doesn't go well. I think there is one story where somebody tries to shoot him, but yet again, it doesn't go well. I don't think he can be. Well, I mean, the creepypasta at least. I don't think he can be actually like. I don't want to say killed. I don't know if that's entirely true, but I don't think you can, especially if you're under his influence, really mess with him. Like you have no control over that. He's essentially trying to control you in a way, right?
Yeah.
Although there was that Slender Man movie that came out, and I didn't watch that, but I get the feeling they must have done something to stop him in that. But it probably wouldn't have been lore accurate.
Probably. Yep. Also, sort of like with regards to Marble Hornets, the question of how to stop the Slender Man would be, if I were to give you any accurate answer, it would be heavy spoilers.
Oh, yeah, this is great. This is great. So Purple also asks, he's like an Enderman from Minecraft and Teleport. Where do you think the idea of an Enderman came from?
Slenderman. It was absolutely a reference.
Now, granted, it's. I think Minecraft obviously took a bit of liberty with the fact that he can pick up blocks and stuff. But if you look at him, he gets aggressive with you. That isn't entirely true with Slenderman. Slenderman picks targets, right? That doesn't matter if you look at him or not. If he wants to get you, he's going to get you. But yeah, and yes, can he teleport? Absolutely. How else do you think he gets around so fast? He doesn't run. He didn't run at all. He teleports 100%. 100%.
Yeah, he teleports.
Yeah, you might not see it happen, but it's like one of the it's like the Weeping Angels in Doctor Who. They move when you don't look. Granted, Slenderman can move also if you look, but I don't know if he can teleport if you look. I'm not 100% sure on that, but we have seen him move. But he does also teleport. So basically, he's just unstoppable. I think we can all agree with that. Somewhat.
Yeah.
Somewhat.
But there's an open question of what his limits are, what his powers are. This series does give some clarity, but it's all later stuff.
Yeah, exactly. We're only in season 1. There's 3 seasons. There's a lot of story that goes in this, and they get longer.
This is the shortest season.
Yeah, this is the shortest season. The entries get really long at one point. Right. Let's carry on. Entry 14. Yeah. Shut up, Chaos. It's fucking funny, though. See him Naruto run everywhere. That's funny. That's really funny. Can you imagine? With all his tentacles flailing? That'd be so funny. The video is playing, by the way. It's a raptor. Oh, it's not. Creepy boy. Hey. Hey, Daddy. I'm sure that's a fetish somewhere. I don't want to think about it, though. He's literally an 8-tailed demon. Hey, I mean, he's got tentacles, so I don't see why he couldn't have more than one. And also, no audio on this one, so don't... Surprise. I was wrong. Where is he? Where is he? Now, I'm pretty sure this is supposed to be Jay, right?
No, this is Alex.
It's still Alex. Okay.
Yeah.
I should have just waited a second. Ooh. Trigger warning. Fake blood. I mean, it could be real blood, but... It's a great shot, though. Need to find out where Alex has gone.
Now he does.
Right. To the ark. Bleed more. Bleed more, Seymour. Entry 15. Just a casual Friday night for you. My God, Ellie. Still find Tim, one of the... Oh, I've missed it. In order to convince him to meet me, I told him I was going to finish the film, and if he could do a screen test. 3 years later, we're going to finish the film.
Jay's gone to meet Tim, one of the actors.
The dude who smokes. He's cool.
Yeah.
Wicked sideburns.
Hey, Tim. Oh, hey. Jay, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You ready to do your screen test for this?
And this is the modern day, or 2009.
It's been quite a while, so you kind of have to get me up to speed, but...
Right, that's fine. I can do that. Set the camera down here. So here's the script for the screen test.
Okay.
And I'll just be taking some notes.
All right. Can I write on this, or...?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
It's easier so you can have it. Before we do the screen test, I wanted to ask you a few things about the production before now. You know,
Just like locations or something, because I think I remember there was a couple around here, but
more specifically the director, Alex. Alex Curley, if you remember.
I don't really remember much. I mean, he was a friend of Brian's, so I didn't really talk to him that much. I mean, he just kind of asked me to be part of the cast for the sake of convenience.
Right. Okay. Did you live near him?
Yeah.
I mean,
well,
like,
I live
relatively
next to.
speaking, I mean, he kind of lived in the middle of nowhere, right?
Well, I mean, I live next to Brian, so I mean, I didn't really live near Alex. He was just kind of off.
Okay. In terms of his directing at the time, how was he as a director?
He was a pretty decent director. Well, at first.
At first.
Yeah, I mean, after a while, he got to the point where. Yeah, I mean, it seemed like after a while, he got to the point where he would be yelling at us more than he'd actually be filming the movie. So, and he'd just be really paranoid, waving his camera around all over the place. I mean, I just couldn't really.
His camera, other than the camera he was using to shoot the.
Yeah, he had a handheld that he was carrying around with him all over the place.
Okay.
And a ton of tapes too, like
right. He had all the
bags of tapes in the back of his car.
How many would you say you had?
Way more than necessary.
More than you would need to make a production like this?
Yeah.
Just for himself?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. So like more than like 15 or 20. Okay. All right. Speaking of Alex, I mean, I don't know if you knew this or not, but he did move away after he ended this production. Do you know what might have caused him to do that, or even where he might have gone to?
I didn't even know he moved away. I mean, obviously, like I said, Brian's the one that was really friends with him. I just kind of was along for the ride, but...
Did you happen to know where Brian is?
I haven't heard from Brian either.
Okay.
Not for quite a while, actually.
Okay. So you wouldn't know what might have caused Alex to move away?
No. I know Brian did say something about, like, I think somebody was leaving dead animals in, like, his front yard or something. But
like pets, or do you really know?
What do you mean pets?
Like cats or dogs or anything?
I don't think so.
Because I mean, he did kind of live in a heavily wooded area.
I don't think it was anything like that. But I mean, you have to ask Brian. I'm not really the.
Okay. More about the set of Marble Hornets. Was there anything? I know that most of the places that you filmed this. I mean, there were some like interior scenes, but most of it was exterior, like in the woods, right?
Yeah. I mean, it was like parks, and some was just kind of like off in the woods.
Right. I mean, Alex did take me location scouting with him a few times, so
yeah.
I did see a few of the places he was thinking about. But did you happen to notice? I know these are like public places and there were people there, but did you notice anything out of the ordinary about any people? Anyone that you saw?
No. I mean, it was just families, kids. Just I mean, you just have to get people off the set on a regular basis. So.
Okay. anyone that you wouldn't assume would be in a place like that, like a park or anything, like guy in a business suit, like business suit?
Don't remember. I mean, it was quite a while ago, and there may have been, but I mean, it's several years ago, and you're asking me about a guy in a suit, so.
Okay, so you don't really remember any specifics about anyone you had to move off the camera?
No, I mean, it just nothing out of the ordinary.
Okay. Well, I was just wondering, since I have the raw footage of the tapes,
I'm really sorry, but I got to get to lunch after this.
Right. I mean, that's fine. I'm sorry. We can go ahead and do this real quick. I'm gonna get the camera set up.
Interesting. A lot of interesting information there. I pause it also because Purple asks a good question. Is Slender Man's head made of like white skin, or is it more like a cloth on top of his face?
It's almost definitely skin. Although it's probably. So there have been portrayals of the Slender Man that have been heavily inspired by famous paintings. The surrealist painter Rene Magritte did a lot of beautiful paintings about ones that would show like a man in a suit with a white cloth over his head, so there's no face. I imagine they're really cool ones actually. But that's the only thing that comes to mind there. There's also a Francis the Mute, a Mars Volta album that has a cloth over the head, which is kind of like that. But I think like as far as the Slender Man goes, it's skin. It's a faceless head.
Exactly that point. It's got like no remote normal features, does it? It's almost just like a complete round basic, almost like a mannequin head in a way, really, just like a round featureless skin head, which is creepy, like really creepy when you think about it. How does he see? How does he do stuff? How do we fucking know? It's not like he talks to us, at least not
out of the blind thing. Like, there's ways to sense things.
Just a ping pong ball. I suppose he's kind of a ping pong ball. He's not round. He's kind of a typical head shape. But yeah, I guess you could think of it like a ping pong ball, but with skin, which is the worst kind of ping pong ball you could imagine. And Chaos's vigil for pizza has begun. Fantastic. Well, time for more To The Ark. I'm gonna start rolling some footage. I'm gonna pee while this is going on, but I'm gonna keep my headphones on so I can hear. I'll be back in like a minute or two. Don't worry.
Okay. I'm going to have to see if I can read this. I'm going to have to look close. See, I received an anonymous tip about where Brian could be located. Enter 16. Right. Yeah, that's all the text there. So just for Nathan's benefit, that's till 2009. Jay is now investigating. Well, he's trying to find Brian, and has led him to this house. Nathan, you heard that?
I did. Hello? Don't break and enter. I shouldn't have to say it. But it's to be safe. At least it wasn't a bottle of piss. He's having a bad day. You've already tried one. Like, come on. Blood. Ooh. Ooh. It's dry. Been there a while. Gross, bro. Pills here. I thought you'd like that.
I wasn't gonna say it.
Had to.
It always goes to me, man.
We had to. It's funny. Fun.
You okay?
Just thought I heard somebody calling, but nobody else is here. It's weird. House appeared abandoned, although I did hear strange noises. You know, I do too sometimes. I left for 2 of Alex's drawings, some kind of pills, and a bullet casing. I may go back eventually. So, let me go ahead and put the chat box back up, because people have been saying interesting things as well. So, Purple asks, on the video before, the To the Ark entry that we saw, there was the S shape in the corner with kind of a hook on it. What was that?
So this has been gone over a lot in the fandom, and also the creators have clarified this one I won't say much about the details, but I'll just say that the simple answer is it represents stigmata. Like it's a classical symbol that stands for stigmata, like the the wounds of Christ. Uh, and in particular, the symbol appears in the To the Ark video that immediately follows, I believe it was entry 14, where we see Alex with blood all over his face, running down his head. So it's drawing this connection of like he's perhaps maybe To the Ark is accusing him of having stigmata. I don't know if accusing is the right word, but anyways, it's a strange symbolic little gesture, raising some sort of a connection of maybe Alex needs to suffer, maybe his suffering has some greater purpose, but like To the Ark's definitely being weird.
Quite right, but yet again, it reminds us that To the Ark seems cryptic in a way. Like there is a further meaning to what they're saying, but it requires a level of decoding, and yet again, it might not be immediately relevant what the definitions mean.
Absolutely, it is. It's definitely weird characterization. Like To the Ark is like there's an open question of like is To the Ark being cryptic on purpose? Like is it? Do they think this is the most appropriate way? But it just raises the question. Like we don't know who To the Ark is. We don't. At least by this point in the story, we don't know. We don't have any context. This is. It gives a very strange vibe. This very strange effect of there being some deeper mystery that goes completely beyond us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And yet again, to his point, the fact that a lot of you might be like, well, I don't understand the whole To the Ark thing. So let me kind of simplify, but also explain it. So in this Marble Hornets entire world chronology of events that they're trying to tell, you mainly think it's on the one YouTube channel, but many years ago in early YouTube days, there was a capability which we sadly don't have anymore, where you can do a video response, where basically a YouTube creator could be like, now you should go watch this, now you should go watch that. Essentially, not like a playlist, but it was from other channels, basically almost like commenting a video in a way, right? And the creator could choose what would be shown if they believe it was relevant or whatever. Maybe they're showcasing their friends or whatever. But in this case, they specifically picked this one random YouTube channel that came out of fucking nowhere called To the Ark with these videos in a certain kind of order in response to certain things, which is why there's a specific order to watch Marble Hornets in, which is why we're going through this playlist. And To the Ark is completely random because, especially when this was all coming out, why did the creators of Marble Hornets let us watch these? Why did they think it was important to show these? Because a lot of it just seems like cryptic nonsense. Unless you truly delve into it further, you're just thinking that, okay, maybe it's like an avant-garde kind of a cryptic bizarro thing that they like, and they thought, okay, cool, we'll just link to it. But it was a lot more than that. It was a second channel that they were also running, which is relevant to the story, and later on, we will find out who's running it and who's doing all this. But it is relevant. It's just really creative and interesting. Which is why it's in the playlist.
Yeah. And I'd like to just make another little point here. So while I'm still doing this... okay, hang on. Somebody bang on the wall now. The neighbor just does that. While I'm doing this little role of just making sure plots and things are clear and it's clear in our mind. So for the first good stretch of time, Marble Hornets was primarily, it was just about Alex. It was about stuff that happened to Alex in 2006, being uploaded by Jay in 2009. But then with entry 15, the series took a bit of a turn. Suddenly, Jay himself is making videos in the year 2009. He's gone from just simply uploading his videos into taking on a more active role as an investigator, but to try to probe questions and find more information than he can just by looking through the tapes. So we've seen him interview Tim, where he got a lot of general ideas of what Alex was like back then, kind of confirming a lot of the impressions that we can get from the tapes. But And then Jay has been investigating this strange house where he just got an anonymous tip saying this is where another one of the actors lives. This is Brian's house. So in terms of the actual actors, we have Tim and we have Brian. Those are two names so far, and they're good names to have. But Brian wasn't here in this house, but there's strange noises, and Jay just found some objects that he happens to think are peculiar. But so, like, Marble Hornets has shifted here. It's gone from an archival footage kind of thing into an active found footage, like video camera, dark hallways, almost like a ghost exploration kind of thing, but without the ghosts. And that's one of the appeals of the series, is that the fact that like it decided to do that. It decided to move on to this style. There will still be tapes, there will still be archival footage, but now there's also it's introduced this new element of active, present tense exploration. Yeah,
Exactly.
Right.
It's an evolution. Oh,
am I still here? Okay, my Discord went a bit funny.
that's okay. We had a little stream hiccup. It's okay. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yep, I can hear you.
I can hear you. Yep, we had a momentary lapse in internet. It was probably on my end because it gave me a notification. It looks like we're back.
Okay.
I think so. Everything looks okay. It still says we're live, but I did check the thing here. It looks like we're okay. I'm assuming it's still good. I can check it here just to confirm. No, not that. You little bastard. It's this. Let me see. Just curious. Your net gets weird. Oh, it's okay. Everybody's internet gets a bit weird sometimes. I'm just here to confirm. My channel. There it is. Just making sure. It looks like it's okay. Yep. Nope. We're fine. Cool. All is good now. Can hear us. Everything looks good. Good. Good to have feedback. Appreciate that. So we're almost out of time. We've got about another 13-20 minutes before I have to go. And well, it's okay because naturally there's more Marble Hornets we'll do, and we'll definitely do more live streams, analyzing reactions. We'll obviously have Jordan in because he absolutely knows what he's talking about with this. Just giving everybody a heads up. 20-minute warning. 20-minute warning.
Well, if I can make a request here, as long as we get through entry 18, I don't mind where we stop beyond that. But entry 18 is a very good stopping point. Well,
okay.
It's like since we've seen entry 16, it would be best to also watch entry 18.
That makes total sense. I say that'll be our stopping point. Then we'll get to entry 18. We'll stop. We'll do any other discussions. We'll have our little chit chats. We'll interact with chat and everything. And it'll be good. And that'll be that. Awesome. When's the next stream? Good question, Purple. It'll most likely be next week on Friday because that was very loud. We tend to do a stream once a week on this channel. Sometimes, not all the time. It depends on how things are in life. But most likely next Friday we'll do more Marble Hornets because this is really fun and we've had a really good time.
Cool.
Let's go.
Sounds good.
Boop. Another To the Ark edition. Looks familiar, does it not?
Yeah, that's a very important one.
For those of you who didn't know, that was when he was coughing on the floor while exploring the abandoned house.
Yep.
He was being watched.
That was great. Yep.
More footage of me helping Alex near the beginning of production.
I had to do that about 5 times.
That's a good story. Jay, if you want to just stand where Brian's going to be and read his lines for me.
Yeah, I got the script here.
All right.
Am I out of the frame?
Yeah, you're good. You know where we're starting, Tim?
Why'd you come back?
Yes.
All right.
And let's just whenever you're ready.
All right. So why'd you come back?
I had to.
Was it because of Sarah?
I thought I'd be able to leave her behind along with the rest of this town, but I just can't seem to get her out of my head.
I thought you said you were over her.
I thought so too.
That's far
Something
enough.
there? Okay.
Yeah, let's not do too much.
Who wrote that dialogue with you, Alex?
That was just me.
Okay.
I do all the script for this. Do you know where Brian is?
I think he said he was just running down to the store for some snacks or something. He should be back any minute.
Okay.
Can I get some water or something?
Yeah, Is this one yours? Yeah. Okay, thanks.
No problem.
Why are you wearing a jacket?
It's pretty cold in here.
I'm comfortable.
I feel like you got the AC cranked up or something. You left the camera on.
Oh, well, we're going to go through it a couple more times anyway, but...
From that point until the end of the tape, the picture's frozen. Although it was pretty easy to see him. Usual audio and video problems are still present in this clip, but there's something else about it that really disturbs me. What's that? What's that, Jay? I don't remember any of it ever happening. I've decided to go back to that house. There has to be something in it that I missed. Great boy.
Just wait till we're alone together, and I will tell you something new, something cold, something sleepy, something of seasons and peace and the long, bright curve of space. Banish them, refuse to speak, leave them, go upstairs to your room. I will be waiting for you. I will surround your bed, close the windows. None will ever again be able to enter.
Come back! Find me. That was weird. That was a weird to the arc. All right, we're at entry 18. We'll finish this.
Yeah.
Then we're discussing and talking. I went back to the house. At night, of course. Of course. It's abandoned, but at night. That's right, Purple. It's got to be alone. Nighttime alone, of course. Stepping on residues.
Hello? Who's here?
It's like somebody tore the place up. Aw, Dolly.
Alex? Alex?
After I apparently stopped the camera, I don't remember anything else. I woke up here, and the next morning, my car off the road. The knife I had brought with me was also missing. At first I thought I had been hallucinating, but I looked on the camera to see that it recorded whoever it was that attacked me. Pretty masked boy. Same audio distortion that I heard in Alex's tape is also in the end of my footage. Something dangerous is going on, and I'm starting to regret ever getting involved with it now. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Like since we got to entry 16, which is just a long and, like, in hindsight, boring exploration of a house. Like at the time, it's just suspenseful because you don't know what's going to come. But like, it's the whole purpose of that entry, at least as I see it, is to prepare you for entry 18, where you're still expecting it to just be another just boring exploration. But then suddenly there's a plus you're expecting, if you're going to see anything, you're expecting to see the Slender Man. But instead you see a guy in a mask. Like, it's a very God.
It's just random, isn't it? Exactly, because you're like, what the fuck? Who is this? What do you have to do with the story? Exactly. And yet, the interesting little note at the end where they're like, oh, but there was also the same distortion. You're like, so is he connected to Slenderman somehow? It tries to make you establish that, right? Or is it yet another entity who can do similar things? You're not
Or
sure.
was the Slender Man did the Slender Man just happen to be around? Maybe.
Oh, true. Maybe he was just like watching from afar or something. You could be right. He could have still been there. Quite right indeed. It's such a great entry because you think, like I said, you think you know how things are going to go for now. You think you understand the story to a point. Yeah, you kind of can base an idea of what could happen, what might not happen, but you haven't quite connected everything yet, nor do you understand what else is going on outside of the bubble that you're currently aware of in the entries. And so this is one of the best ways to portray it, the fact that now there's a new character on the scene. This character also wears a mask. And it's like, the fuck? What's going on here? Why is there a dude in a mask as well? What does this have to do with anything? It's a great piece. You're completely right. It's a really great piece, and it's he does have a white mask. Of course he does. Of course he does. And yet he's not like a typical creepypasta. He's not like a it's not a story that you've seen before. He's completely original to Marble Hornets.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's accurate.
I mean, I feel like there could be a level of inspiration. Yet again, it's a dude in a mask, but the nuances behind it that you and I understand at least. It's more connected specifically to Marble Hornets than anything else, I would say.
Yeah, there's some overlap with other Slenderman stories at the time, but although I don't remember if Marble Hornets came before or after them. But also, like, it does get into nuances that, it's more interesting to consider, like, after we've already seen the whole story. But getting into it too much right now would, I don't know, it would take the focus away from the narrative as it's being presented. It would start to then you're starting to get into the question of, like, how did they make this, and which is a great question, a great subject. And if you're interested at all in how they made Marble Hornets, I highly recommend getting the DVDs because they've got full commentary. A DVD commentary, and you don't even need the DVDs. They're selling the contents of the DVDs on the store at grampoco.com, I think. That's the official store for the creator. You can just get a digital download of the DVD commentary, and they cover the whole show, and they go into great detail about it. But anyway, that's good for after you've already seen Marble Hornets, and if you just want to get into the technical aspects. But like, it gets a lot less scary when you start thinking about how they made it, and it's magical to be in this space where you don't know how they made it, and you're not thinking about it. You're just thinking about this strange internet story that's at times creepy, and now all of a sudden it's like threatening with this human, which is a great little twist.
Well, I mean, we believe it's a human.
Oh yeah.
But that's the other thing, right? It's because at first you think it's a masked dude. He broke into the house. He's trashed the place. He's clearly looking for something or someone. Attacks Jay. We don't know how that all fully plays out, but we know Jay is alive at the end of it, awake in his car, losing his knife, whatever. But then he brings up the distortion thing. If he didn't bring up the distortion thing, I would completely believe it's just a masked dude. Could have been some kind of maybe he's relevant to the story, maybe he's not, maybe it's just a dude breaking into a house. But then the fact that he sat on the sofa, right? Almost like some kind of a cartoony villain in a way, almost like he's just watching the thing play out and then attack. It definitely makes you think he's relevant, 100%, which is so interesting. But of course, yeah, naturally you think it's just a dude. Except for the distortion thing is the only thing for me where I'm like, something else there.
But there's also the fact that To the Ark has basically been drawing Jay back to this house. because To the Ark made the video. He's been making these the past two entries have been along the lines of like come back and find me, or like come back and close the doors, like be freaked out, but you got to come back. So like To the Ark has been luring him there. So there's a possible connection here between the person in the mask and To the Ark.
Absolutely,
So
especially because one of the entries was literally, well, not even just one of the entries, more than one of the entries was him watching Jay from a distance. You know, there was the one about the car, and then obviously the one where he's on the floor in the house, coughing up. So you're completely right. It then becomes very established that To the Ark is watching Jay at least, and you're right, trying to lure him to that specific location again. Come find me. So you're right.
So there's a question. You're supposed to have that question of like, is there a relationship between the mask and To the Ark? But yeah,
quite right. Chaos says that's the unfortunate part about my brain and horror sometimes real. I get that, but it's beautiful. It's I think that's one of the best parts about Marble Hornets, especially, is it is something that should make you think, and it's something that does have more going on than you might immediately know just by watching it. You do have to kind of dissect it. You do have to try to piece together the dots. Not everything makes sense straight away, but that doesn't mean they're not connected in the end. And it's really well done. It's really well done. And the more you watch it, the more things start clicking, the more things make sense, the more answers you get. It's great. It starts as a mystery, but it ends with, I'm not going to say 100% solved, but I'm going to say the majority of it like is solved and connected and makes sense, which is great. It's really, really good.
Yeah. The narrative transforms over the course of the series.
It absolutely does. And it's always nice to see something that can do that, you know, where it does have a story, things make sense. It can be a little convoluted, but at least you can piece it all together and things kind of make sense. And that's great. It's so great. It makes me, I mean, yet again, Everyman Hybrid is another fantastic example when it comes to especially older analog horror. There's another one I could think of. I don't know if it's as old as these, but the style is quite similar. I think it was called 8 Tapes, but I'm not 100% sure if that's the right name. I'd have to have a look.
I'm familiar. I don't think I know it.
8 Tapes. Let me see. I'm going to have to see if I can find it. Not High 8 Tapes, no. It might not have been 8 Tapes. Oh, I'll have to see if I can find it. But I remember that being really good. I think it had Slender Man in it as well. But I think it did a couple of other things as well, if I remember correctly. I just remember I really enjoyed it. What other kind of analog horrors do you really like, Jordan?
Oh, that's also a good question. I wasn't prepared to answer that one. I was actually going to bring up this is a little silly little plug. Just back in 2011, you and I did a vlog, like a analog horror kind of thing that was inspired by Marble Hornets.
Oh yeah.
That was titled Jordan Eats Normally Now, and it was a blog that had videos in it.
Yes.
It's hosted on my website.
Oh my god, yes.
Nathan is a character in that, and he brings a very good comedic element to the story. But if anybody wants to check that out,
I
haven't read it in a long time.
Did we ever find out what happened to him?
I did finish it. I wrote the story.
Did you have an ending? What did you say what happened to me? Because I remember I went through the door.
That's a good question, actually. Kind of like just for the sake of just giving the answer. Like you were in the empty city. You were a figure lost in there, and I go in there looking for you. But I kind of leave it ambiguous there because there's a bit of an emotional reason.
I like that. No, I like that. Ambiguous is good. That's good. I like that.
Yeah, it becomes quite symbolic at the end because I wanted to do something symbolic. That a lot of analog horror is grounded in reality for obvious reasons, but I was interested in seeing if I could do something like have something that starts off grounded and becomes symbolic. Because Marble Hornets is also inspired among other things. It's inspired by the works of David Lynch, and that becomes more clear as it goes on. There's a lot of more clear influences in there, but David Lynch is a great example of somebody who he can make a story that's grounded in reality, but he's very interested in the symbolic aspect of it, how to represent the symbolic cinematically, how to represent it visually and audially or orally, and and I don't know. I've kind of lost that sentence there. But
That's all right.
the question of like other analog horror things, like I said, I hadn't really prepared an answer.
It's
I went through.
okay.
I did go through a quite a portion of my life looking through analog horror, but it's been a while now.
That's
These
okay.
days, I tend to just check out horror games, or I tend to watch people play horror games. God.
No, it's okay.
What comes to mind? The Wyoming incident is one that I enjoyed. God, there's one recent one that I started to get into. What the fuck was it called? It was like if Ellie's still here, maybe she can remember. But it was something like it's a YouTube channel that has these informational videos about. It's this world where there exist like strange body doubles. There are these creatures that appear that look human, but they're just slightly not. And this informational video is trying to tell you these signs to look out for. These, if you notice these signs in this person, then that's not a real person. Then you should watch out.
And annoyingly, that is a lot of analog horror these days. But you could be talking about either the Smile tapes. You could be talking about anything to do with mimics or doppelganger. The Mandela catalog. Yep.
Yeah, 100%. Mandela catalog.
Yeah, that's
I found out about that Jacksepticeye guy, and it was good for a while, but then as it goes on, it has to become a narrative. I understand that, but the creator did not know how to do it. It was really bad. But it started off great.
I completely get that. It reminds me a little bit of like other ones like Basswood County, for example. Like there's a good idea here, but the problem is they don't know always how to best deliver it, which is a bit of a shame, you know. I mean, I know I also can write not great stories, so I totally understand. It's very easy to do those things. 10 tapes. I think you're right, Chaos. I think it might have been 10 tapes. That was really good. That was very nice. Because yet again, it's a cool investigation camcorder style thing of a guy investigating tapes. It's really cool. It takes him on a bizarro journey. That was really good. You like White Stag? I don't think I've heard of White Stag. You introduced Jordan to Urban Spook. Oh my god, what is... No. Was it The Painter? Did you introduce him to The Painter? Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
It's so bad. It's so bad.
It was pretty bad.
It's so bad. Look, I understand why people can like it. Don't get me wrong. But it's not good. It's not good. It reminds me of other... I mean, look, I don't want to say it's low effort. I don't want to say that. But it is a bit low effort. And it reminds me of the oh god, what is it? It's one that I bring up a lot, and I always forget the name of it, which is so stupid because you think I would know it by now. I think it's like the Thompson expansion or something like that. I don't remember, but it's like 100% AI. It is so fucking bad, and it's a shame because it felt like it was going to be backroomsy and really interesting, and it's just bad, and it's just a shame, you know. It's just a bit of a shame. Vita Carnis, oh, of course. Vita Carnis is really good, but Vita Carnis is very clever because it's got like an entire ecosystem. It's got like a whole lot of weird investigation elements. It's got a cooking recipe, for example. It's fucking random and weird, but it's like, how do we coexist with what's going on? This is how we do it. It's really cool. It's really well done. Extension. Yes, it might have been Thompson Extension. It was really stupid. I don't remember what that bad one was.
I do remember another horror thing that I got into recently, which was good. I don't believe it's video content, but it's written in art, but it's made to seem very analog. It's I've forgotten the specific name. It's like the National Flesh Park. The freaking
Mystery Flesh Pit.
That's it. Mystery Flesh Pit.
Mystery Flesh Pit is really cool. It's really cool. Yeah. But yet again, it's like it's an entirely cool story that isn't really told as a story. It's just like a website with a bunch of random things put together. It is kind of like an ARG in a way. It's really well done.
It's like found footage, but as a book, basically.
Yeah, exactly. It's really cool. I quite like that as well. Or another good one that is somewhat similar to that, but not quite fleshy, is Woodlands National Park. That's a good one, but it's yet again it's footage, but it's like park rangers making a video. It's really interesting, really cool.
I'll have to do that because the fleshy part is the one part I don't like about the flesh pit.
Yeah.
That is a phobia of mine.
I get that. Oh yeah, the mystery flesh pit is like disturbing when you really get into it.
Yeah.
Like the events that happen in that park and stuff. There's a reason it got shut down.
Yeah.
Cicada 3301. Oh, Cicada 3301 is a weird ARG, but it's infamous. It's really infamous, really good. Yeah, Woodland National Park is very good. Puppets. Oh yeah, I was gonna bring up the Hello Kids show. It's something we started watching a couple of weeks back on this channel, and it's really good because yet again, similar to Marble Hornets, it's simple. There's weird stuff going on with it, but it's not overtly complex. It's really interesting to watch and a bit bizarre, but it's not too horrifying. We found it really interesting to watch. I think you might like that too. It's also not over the top horrifying, which is nice. It's like just creepy and weird, and yeah, it's quite good. I tell you what. Do you know Life of Luxury?
No, I don't.
Life of Luxury is great if you like the idea of internet horror, but you don't want to be scared by it. You want to kind of see it as goofy. It's literally like the same rehash content every single time. Of two guys, one always wears sunglasses, one is attracted to every female he meets, and they're always trying to go investigate a house and save a person from a weird situation, and it never goes well. And it's just like really goofy and over the top, and it's very funny. I love Life of Luxury, very funny. Oh, Monument Mythos, that's another good call. Well done, Ellie, well done. That's a nice one. There's so many good
She hasn't
ones.
shown me Monument Mythos yet, but I'm sure that she will at some point.
It's got elements of history in it, which is another thing that makes it really interesting. It is still analog horror at the end of the day. I guess it's not quite the same as Man in the Suit. That's another weirdy one in my opinion. I can see why a lot of people like it. I don't think Man in the Suit is amazing personally. I think it's got some great concepts, but I don't know where it's going. I don't know what the story is. It's just kind of like situations, and I don't know where it wants to go. So, it's not really much of a story. Walton Files, yeah, Walton Files is good. And Harmony Horror, oh, yep, both good calls. Chaos, both good calls. God, so many good things we've seen. Oh, Kane Pixels was another good one to bring up. Do you know Kane Pixels with the Backrooms video he did?
I don't know. I had seen some Backrooms videos. I saw the original Backrooms videos, but that's about it.
Yeah, so Kane Pixels was a little bit more recent, but he's done like a Backrooms video made using Blender, which makes it look somewhat realistic. It's really, really well done. I get the feeling you might have seen it because it was infamous. Like it went around viral for a little while. It was really, really good.
I guess it's possible. So I like the original Backrooms video. I was actually very impressed with that one. I lost a lot of interest as it became a story. But,
I know what you mean. Like when there's more to it than just the fact that it's a liminal space that's weird. I do know what you mean. It kind of loses some of the appeal.
Yeah. So another Let's Play on my channel, I did the game Pools, which I had a really good time playing that one.
Yeah.
Although I think it's got a really silly ending, but the first like 5 levels is perfect. It's the perfect experience for me.
Well, it's just off-putting. It's weird. It's liminal, but there's no true danger, if I remember right.
I went into the game knowing that there's no threats, but because that's what allowed me to play it. But I still wound up thinking that there was a threat. I would get really paranoid and really worried about turning the next corner. I'd forget. It was really, really well made.
We'll have to play some of the other Backrooms games that do have threats because those are really fun. Like Inside the Backrooms or Escape the Backrooms, they're really good. Chained in the Backrooms, where you play as a teddy bear. Oh man, Oldest View. Oh, I love the Oldest View. The Oldest View is one of the best examples of a liminal space. It's yet again done by Kane Pixels, but he goes into an abandoned mall, which is miles underground. Just the concept alone is horrifying. It's great. It's so good.
That does sound cool.
Yeah, and the craziest part is it still kind of works. Like the mall is still somewhat usable, even though nobody's there. It's so freaky weird. It's fucking great. But it's based on an actual mall too. Like the design was inspired by an actual mall in like Dallas. I think it was really, really cool. Really, really good.
And also, it also brings to mind the movie Us. Have you seen Us, the Jordan
Oh
Peele
God,
movie?
yeah, absolutely. Ah, Jordan Peele makes some fucking freaky things, which is amazing because like he,
Yeah.
started his career as like a comedy actor. It's like, oh my god, to see him make such horrifying things is amazing.
You know, well, the creators of Marble Hornets were primarily comedy writers. But there's a good overlap between comedy and horror. It's all about expectation.
I guess it's the idea of the duality of comedy and tragedy, right?
Yeah. And as I said, it's about expectation. 'Cause expectation is comedy, and expectation is horror.
That makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. Decay the Mayor. Oh, Chaos, don't worry. Decay the Mayor, the videos are coming out starting on Tuesday. I've done all 3 episodes. Great little point and click horror game. Really loved it. It was a great recommendation you had. It was good. It was really good. But I aced it. Fucking nailed it. I was so smart. So smart. Backrooms are so fascinating for the fact that they're made by people from everywhere on the internet. I mean, you're quite right, Purple. You're quite right. The fact that that the backrooms essentially has become for everybody. And I think that's great. People come up with all their own little ideas for the backrooms, and is some of it a little much? Yeah. But I think overall the point is that it's a free use workable thing that anybody can kind of get their hands on, right? And it's interesting to see what some people could do with that. But not all the time. Some of them are just not good. Like Roblox. But that's my own opinion. You just roasting yourself, Chaos. That's fine. That's fine. Any other questions for us while we got a couple of minutes, people? Otherwise, I gotta wrap up and I gotta see about working on dinner. It's Valentine's Day after all.
I've also got to bring up that, of course, there is the Slender game, but there's a sequel called Slender: The Arrival, which I imagine you probably played. It was a fairly famous one, but that was co-written by the Marble Hornets crew.
I think I remember you telling me about that. I want to say I've played it, but I don't remember recording or anything like that. This would have been. It was quite a few years back now.
It was a while ago. It's I enjoy it quite a bit. Oh, it's pretty short and it's not outstanding, but it's functional. It's perfectly fine.
It's functional. It does what it needs to do. I mean, Slender the 8 Pages was functional, but it was. It's funnily enough still being cloned to this day with even like Siren Head and stuff like that. How it's like, oh, you have to collect things and do a thing and not get caught by the monster. It's like, okay, come up with something else for once. Like, come on. Oh my god, Purple, you're right. If Kane Pixels had a Slenderman series, holy shit, I'd watch the crap out of that. That'd be amazing. I think he's doing some new Backrooms videos now. I gotta see how those are going. But there's other ones we got to catch up on anyway. That's the only problem. People keep making stuff, and there's not enough time in the world to catch up on everything. But we'll make do. Either way, we got to go through all the Marble Hornets now. This is going to take us probably a couple of weeks at least. But I don't have an issue with that. Do you, Jordan?
No, I'm happy to do it.
Yeah, this has been really fun.
This was actually a pretty good time.
It was a really good time. I think we've all had a really good time. Made like a 2-hour video of the back. He made a 2-hour video of the Backrooms? Holy shit, did he really? I know he's made videos of the back. 2 hour? Oh my god. Slender full on RPG when? Oh my god, no thank you. Oh, you know what? That could be an Earthbound clone. The big bad is Slender Man. That'd be funny. I'll play that. Oh man. Well, this has been an awful lot of fun. We'll stop here at entry number 18. We'll finish up probably next week of season 1 at least. Carry on doing more discussions and whatnot. And who knows? Maybe after Marble Hornets, we'll move on to like Everyman Hybrid or something else. Yeah, we'll see how we want to do because I'm quite enjoying this. It's been a lot of fun. It's been really good having my brother Jordan here, the more expert on this kind of series and this world, which really helps me out.
It's been really good to be here.
It's been fantastic.
I'm very proud of you for being a streamer, and I love that you. I think you deserve the success you got, and I'm honestly kind of honored to be on this stream with you.
That's very kind of you to say. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Oh, good. I'm glad everybody else enjoyed too. Thank you, Chaos. Thank you, Purple. Thank you, Ellie, for being here. This has been fantastic fun. Yeah, but we're gonna wrap up now, and we'll most likely see everybody next week for the continuation of season 1 of Marble Hornets. This has been fantastic fun. Don't worry, we'll have Jordan again because it only makes sense that we go through this entire thing with him. He knows way more about this than I do. But thank you all so much for being here, and we will see you next time. Don't forget, to check out his website where he does all of his own stories and his own work, all of his own creations. Yep. It's in the description of this video right now because I can't remember it out loud.
Thanks, everybody, for having me.
Absolutely. Take care, everybody.